Welcome, everyone, to the Feminine Outliers podcast, your dose of fun, life advice, and experiences from two African professional women living and working in the Western world. We are your hosts, Cholwe Mandona
and Zelda Wasau.
So, it's another week, Zel. This is exciting.
It is.
And I think this is a good time to tell our listeners the shift that we are making. So
Yep.
yes. So fellow outliers, it's almost about a year. Our anniversary is coming up in November, actually, since we started the podcast. And Zell and I have been in the background strategizing and wanting to give you more of what you guys would love and see how we can serve you better. And we came to the decision that we will no longer be having our unlearning pieces. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to be talking about things that we have unlearned in the actual podcast content itself. It's just that
Right.
right? So it's just that we're just going to go right straight into it. The topic of the week, and if unlearning comes out from that, we'll talk about it. Um, we are just really excited about the shift that we're making and what we plan to do with the podcast and how we plan to collaborate with people as well. So just stay tuned and keep listening.
Yay. Cheers to new beginnings.
I know.
Because we have a lot. In the same vein, I just want to give a shout out to our fellow outliers. We have
Woo!
many more of you now. Thank you to our new subscribers on YouTube. We are very grateful. We really hope, we keep growing and keep building our community together as fellow outliers. And I just want to do a particular shout out to my people in Kenya because you guys have come through, my fellow Kenyans. I'm really happy.
That's right.
Thank you for coming through for us on YouTube. And I am really hoping that we can actually really be a blessing to you guys via our podcast. And remember, you guys should be able to reach out to us via, you can comment on the videos. You can, there's also a commenting section on Spotify. So feel free, and you can also email us at female outliers, the feminine outliers at gmail.com. So thank you guys. Our community is growing and we're excited. And as it grows, we are also growing and changing this channel for the better. So yay.
Yes. No, that's really exciting though. It's just it's gratifying to see that the hard work that we have put in throughout this year is paying off and people are listening and people want more. So it's so exciting, Zell.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I really look forward to seeing where we end up in the year 2025. And yeah, it's exciting. Yay!
Yay.
So obviously we're going to maintain our integrity because we are the feminine outliers, and we are circling back to one of our episodes. So if you have tuned in or listened to our episode on hair part 1, it's a hairy thing. So that was part 1, and now we're coming back, and this is part 2, and I'm so excited because it's about hair. It's about hair, which I think we need to talk a lot more, especially as a Black African community. There's just so much, and I just there's just so much I can talk about. I don't even know where to start from, but I will start somewhere. So let's talk hair. I think for me, the first thing that comes to my mind, and I think I may have mentioned it in the previous episode, is our standards. Because my opinion so far is that I don't think we have standards for our hair. I think we're still relying on Western standards to define what is good hair. Um, I know the natural movement came about, which helped us to just evolve as a people and say, you know what, we can wear our hair out, um, and be free and do of that. But are we really taking that in a full stride? Are we really proud and happy to actually wear our hair out? Or have we also just caused this division between people who are natural hair lovers versus the synthetic hair lovers? I don't know where we stand with that. So um, because yeah, I just don't know whether we are proud of wearing our hair out. Zal, any
Synthetic
thoughts?
hair lovers. Sorry, I never heard it we called that. Synthetic hair lovers.
Was I supposed to say something else like a weave or like a wig?
I
But let's
don't know.
okay. Actually, you actually right though, because I think that's a narrow definition of it because the hair can be natural. If you think about it, it just came from somebody
Right.
else's head. Yeah. Anyway, you get the point.
That's funny. Okay, so I guess my opinion is I don't know. I definitely feel like we are not raised to like our natural hair.
Mm,
Um, there's this like, oh my goodness, it's so much work. Why do we have to deal with it? And kind of that kind of sentiment around it. Now, for me growing
mm,
up, it wasn't the biggest deal. It wasn't politicized for me growing up. Like it was simply some people had permed hair, some people had natural hair. I think a lot of my friends had permed hair, including me. And I think I'd only perm my hair like twice a year or something like that. Um,
mm,
because my mom was like, it's better to be as healthy as possible, so you don't have to perm it all the time. Because the people would perm it every like 4 weeks, but I would probably say most of my friends were permed. And you had a few people who were natural. I never used to think much about it. I used to be like so enthralled, but it never occurred to me why we're perming our hair or something like that until like I came to the States. And
mm,
because I just never had to think much about it. It wasn't much of a political statement. But clearly, I still remember going to, like, when you go to the stores, sometimes we'd go to this market, you go to the marketplace to get your hair done. Um,
mm-hmm,
I particularly would go to somewhere called Kenyatta Market, and they get your hair done so fast. So fast. It looks so
mm.
neat. But then your scalp is usually like so painful at the end of the day.
Inflamed.
It's like gone. And then they used to put you like when they tried to do the back of your head, or
Mm-hmm.
they would put you in between their legs. And I
Ah,
remember
yeah.
what was that smell? And I feel like it never used to occur. It never occurred to me then because I was still
Yeah.
young, and then now
Yeah.
it's like occurring to me, and I'm just like, why did they do that? Sorry, this is just I'm just thinking back, and I'm just like, okay, but like
Oh man.
when you see people like that, and when I see them, and even I think I went back at some point when after college, they like I feel like they just like natural hair is a nuisance to them
Hmm.
because it's a lot more work to like part it. You can't just comb through it. I mean, they still do. They just rake through it and stuff like that. But it's harder than not permed hair, and so you end up just coming out of there with a head that's hurting, and more sore because your hair is
Mm,
natural. And I don't know if you've watched, like, even in movies, when you watch movies, people with natural hair, it's always this thing of like, oh no, you have to be gentle, you have to be gentle. Like every time when people think about natural hair and getting your hair
mm-hmm,
done, it's like you think about pain. And I'm like, but
mm,
why is that? I just think it's simply because we haven't been trained to deal with our hair. And we also
mm,
don't have the patience to deal with our hair. I think it's a combination of both. But yeah, that's my thought in a nutshell.
mm. Yeah, I mean the thing I think the thing that we are not settled with is literally the nature of our hair. Like it's curly. Um and and also it has a high porosity, meaning that water easily evaporates from our hair. So our
Joy,
hair.
what I told you about high porosity.
What did
Because
you
some
tell me about
people,
high
I mean,
porosity?
because some people have high porosity hair, some people have low porosity hair.
Okay, but let me give an example. You know how when I like try to so when I try to make a ponytail, or even like, yeah, I try to make a ponytail, I try to lift my hair up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I let go of my hands. It's not like my hair flows down on my shoulders, just like that. It stays up or whatever, like especially when it's very dry.
Uh,
So,
but is
you know,
that's not porosity though? At least from
that's
what's
just
it?
yeah, that's just like, okay, it's dry and it's light. It's light, it's dry. It's not the type of thing like I have to add oil to weigh down my hair so that it can sit a little bit more on my shoulders. Um the,
Oh, does water weigh down your hair?
yes,
Okay.
water does. But then it dries up, and then once I move it up, it stays there and it can't come down. And so
That's
the
interesting. I mean, I have never heard of it mentioned as that described as high porosity. Usually, they just talk about the your how stuff is absorbed. So, like, I have low porosity
Oh,
hair.
okay.
When they talk, that's what
Um,
I've seen in the natural community, like how stuff is absorbed. So, like my hair, if you put a hair strand, if you put a clean hair strand in water, it'll probably just float because
oh, like it does.
it doesn't
Oh,
absorb the water. And someone
ah,
with high porosity, their hair will like their strand will likely sink because it's easier for it to absorb the
okay,
water.
okay. So
That's how
then,
I've heard it whenever I've watched these natural hair videos. But yeah.
oh, okay. So maybe I think you have the more accurate definition. But I think what I'm trying to say is that yes, water does weigh down my hair, and then
Hmm.
when my hair dries up, it just becomes very light. And yeah, so I have to put things in my hair to weigh. I have to put oil and creams to weigh down my hair.
Hmm.
um but I think I think the point that I'm making here is around just settling with the structure of our hair. Because at one point I was so into this idea of having of minimizing shrinkage. And I think when I thought about it, I said to myself, oh, all I need to do is use this product. I needed to find the product that could minimize shrinkage. So a lot of the products would
Hmm.
say, oh, very little shrinkage. And so in the back of my head, I would think, oh, yeah, so if I use this product, my hair is just going to be flowing, like it's, yeah, like it's going to be, it's just going to have this look down my shoulder, like on my shoulders. And nope, like that hair just curls all the way. And, you know, after taking the shower, after doing whatever, I still have sort of like pretty much my same hair. Um,
Hmm.
so, and I spent like almost, I don't know, I want to say maybe about a year searching for the right product. There's always this thing like, what is the right product? Like people will ask me sometimes on on days where my hair looks really shiny, what product did you use? What product did you use? And by the end of the year, I had a ton of products in my bathroom, hair products, because I'm trying to figure out the one.
Mm,
And then it dawned on me that why aren't I accepting the nature of my hair? The fact that
mm,
when I take a shower, the reality is that my hair is above my shoulders. When I blow dry it, it's below my shoulders. It's like, so it's just like, why am I not just accepting that that is the reality of my hair? And when I started to accept it, then that's when my focus shifted to the quality of my hair, like the quality of the curls of my hair.
mm,
So that to me was where the shift happened. But until then, until then there were two things that I was chasing. I was chasing length, so because I didn't want shrinkage, and I was looking for the right product, um,
mm.
which I don't think was the right focus, and because in some way I didn't really achieve the length. In most cases, I achieved the length when I did flat iron, like blow dried and flat ironed my hair. But then excessive heat wasn't a good idea as well for me. So yeah, so I don't know if we've naturally accepted the natural. Sorry, I don't know if we've accepted the natural state of our hair to begin with.
And I guess, the question is why that hasn't happened. Because there's so many reasons why we can say it's not happened. But it's just doubling back to what you said. It's funny. I watched a video recently. It just popped up onto my YouTube about natural hair. I think particularly 4C, because I have 4C hair. And so this lady is talking about heat training,
Mm,
and you know how you're saying accept your natural, your shrinkage and stuff, which I 100% agree with. But this lady was also, she had three people. She had a physician. I think a hair person is called a cosmetologist. Okay, I don't know. It's
mm.
something like that. I'm probably wrong. But a hair expert. Tell me
Yeah.
what it is in the comments because I can't remember. And she had a scientist who designs hair products. She practically was a designer of the Garnier. Is it Garnier? No, Pantene. You know the Pantene Gold series, like the one particularly for Black
Mm.
women. She's a scientist who
Oh,
did them. So
okay.
she interviewed these people, and they were saying talking about heat training, and I guess she was saying that heat training is actually not a bad thing if it's like done correctly. She's saying there's some
Mm,
people who actually benefit from keeping their hair straight than keeping it curly because the hair is not able to go down the shaft. I mean, your
mm,
oils because it's so coily and
mm,
curly. So if you have it
mm,
straight, it's easier for your natural oils to like get down the shaft. She's saying it's
mm,
actually beneficial to some people and actually might help them grow their hair more. Like the people who always just do silk presses and their hair is growing really well. So that begs the question, is it necessarily keeping our hair in its natural state, or is it just learning how to deal with our hair, deal and
mm,
accept our hair? Because some people keeping it in their natural state, shrunken and stuff, is more detrimental. And I think I'm one of those people. It's a little bit more detrimental because it
mm,
becomes much harder to deal with it. Like I do not like to let my hair shrink when it's in the shrunken state because
mm.
getting it on, getting it to like unshrink, not unshrink, to like, what is it, lengthen?
Yeah, too.
You know, straighten it out.
Yeah, to straighten it out. Yeah,
You have to put water again on it to do it. So I
yeah,
don't like leaving it in that state because it's becomes, unless that's the style I'm going for. The
yeah.
difference is that's the style I'm going for, but I also know that the tangling process is going to be a lot because of the kinks and the coils. So it just becomes So it's just it's so tricky. So do we know our
Mm,
hair? Do we know how to handle our hair? And also, do we
mm,
accept our hair? Because the accepting the hair, yeah, you can argue that accepting your hair means leaving it in its natural state, but leaving it in its natural state as is might not necessarily be what's helpful for you. Like, you can still leave it
mm-hmm.
in its natural state, but straighten it if that helps you out. Like, if it's like blow drying it or something like that, if that helps you keep the hair. Um,
Yeah. Okay. I can see that, and I agree with you, especially uh people that have, let's say, as you said, 4C hair. I can understand how, as you said, to straighten it out. Wow. It takes time, because I remember doing um a friend's hair, and actually, Zoe, I think I remember also helping you out with your hair.
yeah,
And
you did.
I remember combing it. I remember literally combing it, and it went back. And I'm like, this hair is moving. It's moving in the wrong direction. I'm trying to bring it out, and it's curling back. Wow. Okay, what do I do here? I think I don't even remember if I used the right product for your hair, because you needed something. I can't remember. It was I because I think my hair, because I was using my hair cream, and my hair is like 4A 3C, and yeah, and my cream just made your hair keep curling up. So I was like, okay, okay, okay. Change of plan, change of plan. So I do agree with you that doing that, I can't picture that, especially with your busy schedule. I can't picture you trying to straighten out your hair every single day. So I think we can, I get you. We can meet halfway, in the sense that it's not necessarily your natural state, but then I think it's focusing on how we actually look after our hair that matters, and
Hmm.
what we are achieving in the end. Because if your hair is healthy, it's growing, um and it looks good, then it is a good thing.
Hmm.
um so I think the question is, where do we start learning about our hair? Because I don't know if the hairstylists are keeping up with. I mean, they are natural hairstylists, and shout out to the natural hairstylists. I mean, the natural hairstylists that have looked after my hair are just have been amazing. Um, and I realized that it's not all hairstylists that cater to the Black, African, Caribbean community. I don't think they're all under the same, like, how do I say this? They have the same hair ethics, and work ethics as well. Like, I don't know whether they all understand that our hair, it needs to be taken care of, and it needs to be delicate, like, it's delicate, and like, treat my hair softly and nicely, because that is just who I am. But then no, because I have then gone to other hairstylists that just are like, they look at my hair and they think, man, this thing needs to be just beaten down, and it has to be beaten down into submission. So um I don't know how, if we can rely on hairstylists also to help us with our hair, or how often we can do that.
I don't think we can. Have you? There's also like a video. I should tell you all these videos. Oh my goodness, it's so funny. There's this video of people ranting about their hairstylist experiences. Like they're just down with black hairstylists and how they just. It's like, why can't you take care of a natural hair? Why is it that I have to come with it blow dried, all straightened and ready for you to do it? Why can't you do that? And why can't you do it softly?
Mm,
Or why is it? So why is it that when you go there and your hair is natural, you have some hairstylists who are so like irritated and annoyed because it's going to take them more time. This
Mm,
video is hilarious. How people just go off and rant, and some of them, one of them, she was actually taking a video of her interaction with her hairstylist, and
wow.
I think it's the conditioning. I think that's a problem we need to address. Is we're all conditioned like to think like that. Like we're conditioned to think our hair is hard to deal with. Our hair
Mm-hmm.
is bad. Our hair is, it's all conditioning, and so we
Mm,
all have that conditioning in mind. Like, so you go to the hairstylist and you just sit down and deal with the nonsense because you're conditioned like that. They're conditioned to treat hair like that. It's just a whole revolving cycle. Uh,
mm,
it was interesting. It was really interesting.
yeah. So it is, and and it's that thing because I think I told you there's this lady that I was just minding my own business. I just tied up my hair, and my hair was in its natural state. Tied it up. I thought I was cute. It was a messy bun. It was a messy bun for Cholwe, like an African messy bun. I don't know, you name it. Um, but anyway, and she sees my hair and she's like, I guess it's time for a new hairstyle, right? And I did. And I was
New
like,
hairstyle.
and in my mind, I'm like, no, lady, this is the hairstyle. This is the Saturday morning hairstyle because I've worked hard for the past 5 days and now I want to relax. And I just came here to shop for a little bit and go home and just chill. But I think in her mind, she was like, why? I think in her mind, she was saying, why isn't your hair like this standard of why can't you put in, you could put in some extensions in, straighten it out, do something, because the way you're coming and showing yourself like this is just, it's like a no-no. um and so I was a bit frustrated at that because I was like, if it was somebody else with a different hair like this, you would not be saying that.
I see, and that's the toxicity because I feel like we are our own worst enemies when it comes to dealing with our own hair. Because forget about non black people. Some of them don't even know how to like they wouldn't know how to categorize our hair. So I mean, I'm pretty sure it confuses some of the people at work when I go in
Mm-hmm.
and I switch. I've been wearing wigs recently, and
Mm.
one of them is like, "You had a different hairstyle." Every time I see you, and I
Yeah.
don't even know whether to be like, yeah, it's a wig, or someone's like, I like your hair, like, yeah, it's a wig. Clearly, I don't know what they know. I think they tend to
Yeah.
be clueless as well. But the problem is when we ourselves are toxic to each other. Because I also had that whole
Mm.
thing, that messy bun thing is something that also triggers me because I'm not gonna say who it is, but they're really close to me. But they literally like were like, you're gonna leave the house without your hair being slicked back. It's like, why do I have to
uh
slick my hair back
Mm,
for it to look neat? Like as you said, why can't I just like quickly like brush it and just hold it in messy bun and leave it? Like messy
mhm.
buns are cute, like, but no, it's like you have to slick it back for it to.
Exactly.
Why is that a thing in the natural hair community?
I
Like
have
if you
no
don't slick
idea.
your hair back, it looks bad. Or
Oh,
like, why do you do that?
I have no idea. You've just reminded me, and also with like the extended laying down your edges. Like the edges are not like laid down like pretty close to your hair. Like it's like there is like they are protruding. Like the whole forehead is like laced with hair. It like yeah, like there's a whole theme. There's a whole thing going on with that as well. And it's like it's not natural.
You know, laying down your edges can actually look really nice. And can actually you can look really nice and sophisticated. I don't mind doing that. You don't have to do it. I think
Yeah.
that's one thing people need to understand. But two, when you do it, I think there's also a way of doing it wrong. Because I don't know if you've seen the people with the exaggerated edges. That is just so not classy. It is not classy. Like
Not
they have the
demure.
whatever the wigs are totally not demure. Totally. Like you have the wigs and you have this big spirals protruding to the forehead. And I'm just like, that does not look classy at all. That does not look natural. Like the
Right.
difference between your edges looking nice and natural
Yeah.
and them looking trashy, honestly.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't
that
know why we think it looks good. I don't know.
yeah, no. No, exactly. Oh man. Yeah, we've really gone beyond uh the demureness of life when we get to that when you get to that point. The thing that I would also say is, okay, for if we're not going to rely on our hairstylists, I mean some of them, not all of them. So shout out to the ones that are actually doing the good work of taking
Mhm.
care of our hair. But if we're not going to do that, my other take has been on YouTube. I know we have praised YouTube. YouTube has been our university. We are bona fide graduates. I'm really proud. Uh, so it's great. But the thing about it, though, is when now here I am, right? I'm like trying to love on my hair. I'm trying to understand it, and for me, the journey has been long. And I tune into YouTube, and I find a channel that's telling me to mix everything that's in my kitchen to get the results of shiny long hair. So I'm talking apple cider vinegar, olive oil, sugar, whatever combinations are that. And I'm like, this is getting worse because like I literally just want one product that if you tell me to use it, at least it will cleanse out the oils, it will add moisture. But now we're getting into a lot of these YouTube videos that are like, if you mix this and you do this and you do this and you do this, and probably it works, but I'm thinking, are we just making more work for ourselves as well? Like, who has time, especially if you are really busy, you have things to do, who has time to be mixing up concoctions and then preparing that every week? So I appreciate people trying to be natural when it comes to maintaining their hair, but I don't know if it's also helping us. That's the thing.
I just I just guess maybe we're in an exploration phase. And the DIY home treatments and home stuff was part of the phase. There's still people who
Mm,
do it. But when I was talking to you about those three ladies on that episode that I watched, one of the ladies was saying, yeah, what's the point? Like, just buy stuff that are readily formulated from trusted companies and use it, because sometimes she's like, the things you do at home might actually do more damage to you than you realize.
mm,
And
mm-hmm.
I I mean, it's a possibility. I don't know. What that made me
I
think
don't
of is
know.
the time I did an avocado treatment on my hair, because it's supposed to be avocado is supposed to increase the protein. And
Mm.
I was so itchy. Like my scalp was itchy. Everything was itchy. And guys, I love avocado. And I still eat avocado.
Yeah.
I never have that
Yeah.
reaction. But on my scalp,
Yeah.
in my hair, I don't even know what that feeling was. It was so weird. And then I think I mixed it with egg. And then when I was rinsing it out, I didn't rinse it out with cold water.
Yeah.
I think I rinsed it out with
Ah.
hot water. And it had egg.
No, that's I'm just wondering whether I'm wondering whether the egg got cooked.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I am never doing that again.
Oh man, that is
But
funny.
that just made me realize that it's like sometimes just get. I mean, I know that people say, "Oh, these chemicals, you can't account for them." My opinion is there's a lot of chemicals out there. Do your research, do what works best for you, do what's the least toxic, but you can't
Mm-hmm.
run away from all these so-called toxins. Like it's not
Uh
possible.
That's
So,
true.
because people
That's
will be like,
true.
no, go natural, go natural. You might be missing something that you might be able to get in some of these other more commercial products. So it's like just do your
Yeah.
research and do what's the healthiest and best for your hair. Don't just be like, no, it has chemicals or this inside of it. It
Mm,
you can't avoid everything harmful in this world. So you might as well try
yeah.
to minimize what's harmful as much as
Yeah.
possible. Yeah.
No, that's interesting. You actually are just reminding me. I also had the rice water phase because your girl was chasing length. So I was like, okay, you know what? Come through. Because when I had that goal of like, okay, I want my hair to be longer, there I did the rice water thing. Now the thing was that I wasn't looking after my rice water. I think at one point I even left the rice water like for a while. Um, because I forgot because I was busy in the streets trying to make my money. So I got so busy. And did anything change? No, because I don't remember for how long. I think I did for like a week. Um, and I think when people do this whole videos of like the rice water and you see like their hair first of all started from the shoulders and then now it's all the way up to their buttocks. I'm like, wow, okay. And so but I feel like my hair didn't even move an inch for whatever I did. I didn't even move an
You
inch.
know, the funny thing is, Joey, I actually think that's one thing that worked for me. And I actually, because there's a time I did rice water, and
Really?
I did rice water treatments once a week for 4 weeks, and I noticed my hair grew at least an inch.
Wow, really?
I remember that time it grew, and maybe part of the reason is also because my hair was in like mini braids, and I just had left it along, and I was like, put the rice water on the braids, decondition, and leave it. It grew.
Okay. Okay, come through rice water. No, I don't know what was happening. I don't know the communication between the rice water and my hair and maybe myself. To be fair, I wasn't also diligent, so but this was the thing where I was just trying to be like, okay, I'm gonna try one of these combinations and see what happens. And the other thing that I also tried was putting on a weave for 3 months. Of course, I was maintaining it, so I thought, I'll keep maintaining it. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, um, every 2 or 3 weeks, and then remove it in the third month. Oh my goodness! By the third month, my hair had so much breakage. It wasn't even funny. And my stylist, I remember her saying, "Oh yeah, I don't think 3 months works for you." And I'm like, "Yes, it does not." Um, and I know some people who can keep like extensions or braids or something for longer. But after that, I realized I need to scale back on that. So maybe it really is an exploration. Like
Mhm.
it just because also our hair, like I said, half of my head is like 4A, has a 4A texture, and then the back is 3C. So it curls up really, it's very curly in the back. Not curly, no, not very curly. It's less, the curls are looser in the back. So I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know if there's like one formula that fits all of us. And we just have to get to know our hair individually, if you know what
Mhm.
I mean. But as you
I think
said, oh, go ahead.
I think that's definitely part of it. I think
Yeah.
you have to listen to your hair. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and that might take experimentation.
Yeah. It might. And you mentioned something to say that we can't run away from all the toxins and maybe we just need to just spend a little bit more time with our hair. Like maybe just do a simple routine. Have a simple routine where you just wash your hair, moisturize it, see what happens. See what happens when you don't wash it after 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. I don't know. Like just be in a relationship. I think we need to start having a relationship with our hair, and then
Mm-hmm.
Because until then, our lives are going to be, dictated by business people who want to make money off of us every single day. Like every single day, which just, frustrates me.
I think an important thing to do as you embrace your journey of hair is to learn to love your hair.
Mm,
I don't know. For me, this has been a tough one because I don't hate my hair. I know a lot of people look at my hair and you're like, oh, you have such nice hair. But like my standards of hair is like I want
mm,
long, long, long 4C hair, the kind that is so, so long. Like it's just like, I just want to be able to hold it with shrinkage and it's being like a huge, huge amount of hair. That's always
like
been my
huge
standard. I
mane.
like yeah, I really
Mm,
like I've always liked long hair. And I've always had, I would say medium length to long hair. I would say medium
mm,
length hair. Um, and but one of the things I've been working on is trying to be comfortable with my natural hair
mm,
because I, do you ever find yourself someone says, mentions something to you about your hair, even if it's a compliment, and you have to kind of rebuff the compliments, or like you say, "Oh, thank you, but I was not happy with this," or "Thank you, but this is this and that," because
mm,
you're feeling insecure about your hair.
mm-hmm,
That's something I have to work on, and I've been working on because
mm,
I'm just like, you know what, like it is my hair, and I have to love it and care for it to grow as well.
mm-hmm.
So and not just be careless with it. I told you how I've gone to African breeders. No, this is no shade to
Shade.
African breeders, but
Disclaimer.
there's a good number of them who you go to. Your hair always looks amazing afterwards. Oh, it looks amazing, but they tear
Mm,
through your hair. They tear
mm.
through the damn head like you leave there with a headache. and by the time you end, like I honestly
Mm,
feel like that your hair breaks a lot, and then it just takes you
mm,
back to the beginning. So I realized I have to stop doing that. And the reasons why I would go to these hair braiders is when I'm on a time crunch, and I
mm,
need to know what to do with my hair. So I'm like, crap. I can find an African braider nearby and get them to get my hair done soon. I started to tell myself, no, you need to learn how to also handle your hair. If you're in a time crunch and you can't do the braids, what else are you going to do? There's other options. Think about it.
right. That's very true. Yeah. So it's almost like we have to refrain ourselves from just going for, like more like hairstyle over the health of our hair. Like if you can
Hmm.
find another way to have a decent style for your work and whatever you're doing, work, life, then just go with that as opposed to
Hmm.
trying to rush to say, I need to get my hair done. I need to get my hair done. And when people also say that, I need to get my hair done, it's like, you already have hair. What do you mean you need to get done? Like we also have like, yeah, like we also use terminologies that describe like this hair that you're looking at. Don't look at it because it's not my hair. It's not like the hair, and it's like, okay. But yeah, so you're right. I think there's something psychological that we need to change there in terms of acceptance. But it is a journey if we have never been on it before. So let's start now. I mean, we're doing this podcast, so it's a good start. So
Hmm.
wow. On that note, we have come to the end of this episode. But you guys know where we are at. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on YouTube. Please subscribe. You can comment on both platforms, including Apple Podcasts. You can comment on all of these podcasts of our of how we're doing. If you want to DM us, directly message us, you can send us an email to thefeminineoutliers@gmail.com. Also, we have on Instagram, so you can also connect with
We
us.
do.
And we have posts and we keep our updates on there. And yeah, join the team. Join us and be an outlier. So until next time, have fun, live large, and don't be afraid.